time to wake to sleep with Sleep Science Today, where we learn to sleep well with your host, Andrew Colsky on UK Health Radio.
Thanks for joining us on Sleep Science Today. Today we have a special episode as part of podcasts where a lot of different podcasters get together and we help out making organizations, bringing awareness to different types of nonprofits that affect the audiences that we have. In this case, we're Sleep, and today we have the opportunity to speak with Janet Hamada Kelley. She is the Executive Director of the San Diego Imperial Chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. I hope I said that right, Janet.
Great. Thank you so much for having me on this morning.
Great. So Janet has agreed to join us and tell us a little bit more about the Alzheimer's Association and educate us about what they do and how they work. And so what I'd really love to know, just to get us started, is can you tell us a little bit about the mission of the organization and what your main focus and goal is?
Absolutely. So we are a national nonprofit organization leading the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction, early detection, and maximizing quality support, care and support for families and individuals impacted by Alzheimer's and all other dementia.
Wow, okay, so it's not just Alzheimer's, it's dementia in general and even more, it sounds like.
Yes, so I think with the growing prevalence, it's really looking at individuals that are currently diagnosed with Alzheimer's as well as other forms of dementia, and making sure that individuals and families are aware of the importance of brain health and learning more about cognitive decline.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so as part of the services that your organization provides, can you tell us in terms of, on one hand, you've got people with dementia as well as loved ones and family members who need help and education and knowledge and support, and then we've got the other side, which is sort of the scientific research side into dementia. What do you all actually provide?
Yes, it's a great question. We do a lot. So for the families and individuals who are currently going through a diagnosis or concerns of cognitive decline, we provide a lot of education. That is one of the core focuses of what we offer as an organization. So providing free education and resources to anyone that is interested in learning more about brain health as well as Alzheimer's or dementia. We also provide lots of resources, whether it's in-person or virtual support groups for caregivers, or resources like our 24/7 helpline and our website that has a wide range of information. I think one thing that to keep in mind is while we talk about Alzheimer's and dementia as an individual's diagnosis, anyone that's been through it knows that it's a family issue, it's a community issue, and it really impacts the loved ones that are taking care of the individual with the disease. So we also provide a lot of caregiver support and resources.
Fantastic. So if somebody is listening to this and they want to get access to some of that support, how would they do that?
We try to meet everyone where they are at. So our 24/7 helpline is available 24/7. That's 1-800-272-3900. We also have our website, alz.org, with lots of information. And then we have over 70 chapters across the United States where we also offer in-person and local programs.
Fantastic. Great. Okay. So that's, information about things that people who are family members or someone with dementia has access to those resources. Let's talk about the other side here, which is sort of the prevention and the research side. Does your organization actually do any research? Do you fund any research? Do you just follow research? What's your involvement from that end?
Yes, so we are the largest private funder of dementia research in the world. So we are looking at a global portfolio. We're looking at the best of the best, and not just looking at treatments, but also, to your point, prevention, and looking at lifestyle factors and making sure that we are supporting the whole disease progression or journey as opposed to just one state. And there's been incredible breakthroughs around treatments as well as discoveries around prevention, really taking in from other disease states as well, like heart and cancer, and learning from those advancements and how that can be applied to dementia.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Well, just a note to the audience here, we have another show coming up after this show in a few weeks where we're going to be diving deeper in and speaking with one of the doctors, one of the clinicians who works with the Alzheimer's Association about some of the medical aspects of this. But for today's purposes, can you give us sort of a high-level view of what types of things have we learned in the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years about prevention, diet, any types of things that people could or should be thinking about if they're concerned about dementia?
Absolutely. So I think one of the things that we've shifted our focus or has started to expand on are the healthy lifestyle habits that you can practice daily to improve your brain health. And so we often say what's good for your heart is good for your brain. So probably not things that are out of the ordinary, but sleep is absolutely critical, right? Getting sound sleep, making sure that you are reducing your screen time before bed, making sure you have quality sleep, and of course adding that in with other lifestyle factors like a healthy diet, maintaining social and activities, as well as exercise and all the other things that you think of when you think about a healthy lifestyle.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of, one of the messages that I try to promote throughout the shows that we do here on Sleep Science Today is that, people can say, well, I have all these sleep problems and I can't fall asleep and all these things. And then at the same time, their diet might be burgers, fries, and sodas, and they're not exercising because they're busy with all sorts of other things in life. And so there's little opportunity to exercise. So, if you don't have the whole package together, then everything impacts everything else anyway. So it really is important, to, even myself, switching from the heavier meats and the greasier types of meals to the salads, the leafy greens and the berries and the nuts and legumes and those types of things. You can really feel a difference in your body. And then you start to add in exercise to that, and you just feel lighter, more energized, more focused. And lo and behold, your sleep improves as well. How about that? So this is such an important lesson all the way around. So I appreciate that, because that's the common message we hear from everybody is those types of things.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember it's not just one thing, right? They all play a role together, and so we also encourage eating right, as well as the movement, challenging your mind, making sure that you are, maintaining a healthy weight, moving, all those types of things. But we have seen that a nutritious diet, activity, and social engagement have also been linked to brain health. So really encourage you to, try to practice all those things to maximize your brain health.
Yeah. And, we also, on the show, we try to keep up with the latest science. And I know there's a lot of studies that have been going on over the years related to dementia and sleep, and particularly the concept that when people reach this deep stage 3 sleep, that's when the brain starts to sort of clean itself and clear itself. And you'll hear and see a lot of research about the plaques, the amyloid plaques and the tau tangles and things that can get cleaned as the brain sleeps. But the question that's still outstanding, that I don't believe any studies have proven one way or the other yet, is whether that can decrease dementia or your risk for it, or whether it's any causal link or not. Are you aware of anything like that? Or I'm assuming you all are involved with some studies related to that.
We are. So we actually just completed our U.S. pointer study, and that is really looking at lifestyle factors, including sleep. So again, this is not just focused on sleep, but it's looking at all of the other pieces: diet, exercise, mental stimulation, social support, and how that can reduce the risk of dementia. So we just completed that study. It's the U.S. pointer study, and we're waiting for the results of that to read out here in a couple of months. But I think that'll be really telling as to how all of these pieces do play a role in that risk reduction piece of dementia. So more to come.
Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to read that and see that, because if you go out on the internet and you look for books and things, there's so many books that have come out more recently about Alzheimer's prevention, proper diet, all sorts of things related to dementia. And I guess it's because, look, we've got the baby boomers are getting older. They're moving into that age range. There's a lot of them. And it's becoming more of a front, page type of issue. So, excuse me. So if somebody wanted to get involved with the organization, and not just because they're a family member dealing with something, but they want to be involved in a more global sense, and they want to help out, and they want to volunteer, are there opportunities for them?
There's always opportunities to volunteer. So we are always looking for champions in the community to help us raise awareness, identify opportunities for us to provide that free education. We do a lot of programs in the community, making sure that different parts of our community have access to information. And then we also are, looking for, of course, volunteers in our office, in all the activities that we do. Always looking for folks to join us in our fundraising efforts, as our fundraising dollars do support the critical research that's taking place, as well as keeping our local chapters funded to be able to provide free education. So lots of opportunities. We're also looking for advocates. We do a lot of advocacy work. So individuals who may want to share their story, right? Maybe they have had certain challenges or wins through their journey, and want to share their story and help us amplify the voices of the families impacted.
Wow. And just out of curiosity, approximately how many chapters are there across the United States?
There are over 70 chapters, so there's definitely a chapter near you. Yeah.
Okay. And the reason I ask that is because a lot of times I talk with patients who want to get involved. You talked about that social aspect, keeping your brain active, and they're looking for volunteer opportunities. And so if you've got 70 different chapters around the country, there's probably an opportunity for that volunteer position for different people who want to be active, and it's a great organization to help out anyway.
Yes, we're always looking for folks who are, wanting to elevate our presence in their community as well, right? So if they want to, volunteer with us and they're able to table at different events or just raise that awareness, share our information, that is really important to us. As a staff, we can only do so much, so we really do rely on the power of our dedicated volunteers to help us move forward.
Fantastic. So then let's give one more time. Can you give the information, the website, the phone number, in case people want to get in touch with you, volunteer, offer a donation? How do they best do that?
Absolutely. So for resources, I would say our 1-800 number, our 24/7 helpline, is available to anybody at any time. And so if you have any questions, whether it's clinical or behavioral, or perhaps something where you're just like, I don't know what else to do because it's 3 a.m. and I can't get my loved one back to sleep, you can call our helpline. So that number is 1-800-272-3900. The other beautiful thing about our helpline is it is managed by master level clinicians, and it's offered in 200 languages.
Oh, wow.
So it's, we're trying to make sure it's accessible to everybody. The other part, the website is also a really great resource that you can go to anytime, alz.org. And then I would say if you are looking for volunteer opportunities, please reach out to your local chapter. Your local chapter staff will be happy to find the right volunteer opportunity for you.
Fantastic. That's great information. I didn't realize you had 200 different languages. Wow. Wonderful. So, okay, well, this is sort of a precursor for like we said, a bigger show coming up in a few weeks where we're going to dive deeper into some of the science behind dementia and sleep and the bigger picture. So, Janet, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to come and educate us about the organization and what you all do and the resources available. And I hope that those of you listening take advantage of this. You know, getting involved in being a volunteer is so rewarding, and in something like this, working with dementia, which is such an important area, I'm sure your resources would be highly valued. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on our future episode of Sleep Science Today, where we'll dig deeper into dementia and all things sleep. You can always visit us at www.sleepsciencetoday.com and learn more about the show and listen to episodes and even see us on YouTube. We'll see you on a future episode of Sleep Science Today. You're watching Sleep Science Today. If you enjoy our show, please help support us by pressing the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. It'll really help us get seen, and it'll help you stay informed.
Thank you for listening to Sleep Science Today and learning how to sleep better with your host, Andrew Colsky, on UK Health Radio. For more information on how you can achieve better sleep, go to sleepsciencetoday.com. Remember, sleep science today and sleep better tonight.